What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and today we are going to look once again to the save squads, but I want to apologize before. The other video was way too long. I put it on private and it was not fair for me to demand 28 minutes of your time to watch that video. So for this time and for the next time, next month, when we'll do this video, we'll just focus on what changed and also on the new teams, and just stay like that. We don't need to explain every single team. I'll just say if I use it on more offense or defense and stuff like that. So as fast as possible so we don't take too long. And because the content of the game is a little bit stale right now, I'm gonna do a few videos on things that I like to see in the game, since many people have said that in my video where I talk about the state of the game. My video was about the other content creators video. My video was not about the state of the game, but I can make a video about suggestions of game modes and different features that I would like to see in the game. And so we can diversify a little bit the content we have. And also I will be bringing some videos with the Swarm and Baron Zemo, just to have an idea of them in action on Alliance Wars and so on. But then in the future we'll go a little bit further and start to do punch-ups and things like that, advanced strategies on those characters. Okay, so let's move forward. So as always, thanks for everyone who has subscribed and everyone who watched and comment on my videos. I really appreciate that, and whenever you guys leave a comment, it helps me to redefine the content on my channel, make small adjustments, and that's why I also want to make this video shorter. So let's get started. We are going to once again to msf.pal.gg. Once again, this is a great website in terms if you want to organize your roster and if you want your alliance to organize your roster, because not only this website is for you, it's also for your alliance. So officers and alliance leaders, they can check which teams you have available and see in which lanes you should be without wasting too much time. Okay, so first we are taking a quick look at the characters that we are not using right now. And once again, I'm only going to explain the changes on the teams that we made and the new teams, which we have two of them. So as you can see, a few characters, like most of them are overall trash, or even if they have a team, they are not the best character for that team. I always prefer mechanical synergies over theme synergies. That's why we have, for example, Winter Soldier here, and that's why we have some of the Wakandas here, and Shocker is also here, and Gamora. So yeah, because they don't fit the gameplay, I like to have mechanical synergies over theme synergies. Some of these characters are left behind. You can still do a few Blitz teams with them, but it's just for the lower levels if you want. Okay, so let's get started. We have the Kree Peasants. I use this on Blitz and Alliance Wars defense because overall they are pretty much garbage, but sometimes they consume power armor team. Then we have Red Skull's Hydra. This is the best positioning. I use them on Blitz. On 8.3 they win fairly easily, and obviously on Alliance Wars defense. Then we have the first team we are going to talk about, the Sinister Six, with Doc Ock and with Electro Woman, Lady Electro, She-Electro, whatever you want to call her. And now we have to talk about this team and explain why they take these positionings and where you should use them. I prefer to use them on Alliance Wars offense. There are many things about this kit that it says is more for offense. Of course you can use it on defense, but they don't have that much sustain that can keep them on defense for more than 1 or 2 matches. But we want to have Mysterio and Doc Ock together, so Mysterio gets speed up, so he will do his basic more often, and that will clear many buffs from the enemies. Then we have also Doc Ock giving deflects to Mysterio and She-Electro, and that will increase their sustainability since they are not very tanky. And then we have Rhino here. Rhino is far away from Doc Ock, and the goal is to keep Electro or She-Electro without buffs. So whenever Rhino taunts, it will clear the negative effects from Electro and from Vulture. And also you want to save the taunt, if you can, from Rhino to whenever Mysterio dies. So he taunts and is far away, so there is a high chance that the clones will spawn far away because of the positioning of the characters. And thanks to that taunt, you might be able to revive Mysterio, since you have to wait one turn for his clones to be able to bring him back to life. So yeah, this is the new Sinister Six. They are going to be amazing for Alliance Wars offense. If you want to use them on Alliance Wars defense, you might get a few wins on the first week because it's a new team. People don't know how to deal with, but I think after the first week they will be pretty much done on defense and they should be used on offense. Moving forward, we have the Shield Colson team. This is my favorite version. The only thing about this team, and I need to explain, I have Nick Fury here because whenever Shield security gets some splash damage, sometimes Nick Fury goes a little bit lower than him, and that allows the operative that he summons to give him buffs, and then he can spread the buffs. That's the only reason. The rest is pretty much basic. Then we have the X-Force. There is nothing new about them. We already talked about them in the last month's video. Then we have the Waveone Avengers. This is my favorite lineup because we have Quake giving slow for 2 turns. We have Black Widow giving speed up to all our Avengers and Shield members. So this is a great team because you have such an unbalanced amount of speed up and slow down. And I use them for Alliance Wars defense, but they can also be used for Alliance Wars offense. And Blitz, obviously. Then we have Power Armor. We already talked about this team. We have the 2 squishier characters in the corners, and that's it. Then we have the Supernatural. Once again, the 2 squishier characters in the corners to avoid as much damage as possible. And I use them for offense. Power Armor also for offense. Some people use this one for defense. It's up to you. Then we have the Young Avengers. This is the version I use. Keep Squirrel Girl as far away as possible. Because the AI of these characters is terrible, I like to use them on offense instead. And a few people have told me that if you use Ultron here, this team can counter fairly easy the Marauders with Emma Frost. No comment if it was with the Blob or not, but at least with the Sabretooth they are able to counter. So that's a great option, once again, for Alliance Wars offense. Then we have Fantastic Four. I prefer to have these 2 here. Alliance Wars offense, obviously, because it's where they get most of their buffs. Then we have the new team, Baron Zemo's team. And in a few days, I will upload the first bunch of videos or a batch of videos about this team. And I'm going to show you how good this team is. It's just crazy. And even with Zemo only at 3 red stars, 3 yellow, he's still doing great just because this team based on mechanical synergies is so good. But I will let the video speak for itself. But you want to have Crossbones in one corner because he's a tank. Then you have Baron Zemo next to him, so he applies dodges or evades to the characters next to him. With the characters with least survivability will be Crossbones and also Black Panther, so they are the ones that benefit the most out of those evades. Then you have OG Spiderman. He gives defense down to the enemies, and Black Panther, Crossbones, and Zemo love defense down. Then we have Aim Researcher. There is a chance that she can apply offense up to the characters. It's a rare chance, but she's here mostly because she does a nice amount of healing, and she can apply offense down, which helps a lot this team in terms of sustain. But once again, check out that video. In a few days I'll be uploading it, and you'll be amazed how good this team is. Then we have Aim with a Swarm. So we have Swarm in a corner, we have Aim Security in the other corner. Scientist Supreme applies negative effects to the enemies. Then she also applies negative effects to Swarm, but because of his passive, he flips those negative effects into positive effects, and that will allow him to do insane amount of bleed damage. Also to apply defense down, slow, and disrupt on one character. Then Graviton extends all those negative effects, and we have Aim Assaulter giving speed up. And I actually did the T4 on the passive of this guy, and I really don't regret it. It makes a huge difference for Graviton and Scientist Supreme. This team improved so much just based on that T4, but I can't wait to increase the star level on Swarm, and hopefully we'll have a special guest to open those orbs, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, this team is quite good, and I use it on Alliance Wars offense. And let's move on. We have the Kree Technocrats. I'm almost done with the second run of Dark Dimension 3. I'm going to actually finish the last 5 nodes today. And this team is just amazing. Ultimus is such an underrated character, but hopefully next week I'll be able to use his red stars and make him shine as he should. And maybe then he will have the appreciation that he doesn't have right now. But I like to use this team on Alliance Wars offense. Maybe you can use it on defense, but I prefer just to use on offense because you have full control over the AI, and that's important when you are using characters like Korath and also Ultimus. Then we have the Guardians. I didn't add anyone to put here on the Guardians because we removed Hulk from here, which was a great combo. But we have the End Sentry here. He applies evades to the Guardian characters. It's not great, but it's a great solution to save a few turns on Rocket and on Star-Lord, and that allows them to do way more damage and without putting them at risk of dying. And thanks to that, this team actually became a little bit more efficient than if you're using a character like Drax. Moving on, we have the X-Men. This is the version I like to use. If you are using, like, for example, Black Order, just replace Storm with Wolverine and you'll be fine for the most cases, I guess. But you make sure you know what you are doing when you face those matchups. I have a few videos on that. You should check it out. Then we have the Black Order. They are used on Alliance Wars defense or offense. Depends on the alliance. But this is the version I like to use, and I prefer to use them on offense so I can counter Mercs and also big Marauders, especially if they have the blob and things like that. Just make sure you use the Thanos special after Mr. Sinister's second turn or something, whenever he spreads the buffs. Then we have the Inhumans with Beast, and before I was using Wolverine here actually, and for a while it was nice, but the problem is that you need the slow from Karnak or from Quake, so Crystal does way more damage, and also to give some time to Beast to do his ultimate, because many times Beast is the one that is targeted first because he has the lowest amount of yellow stars, and that gives him a little bit more time so he can do his ultimate, and then Black Bolt, Crystal and Yo-Yo just destroy everything. And I use this team on Alliance Wars offense against all kinds of teams. Shield team, Asgardians, against Hydra. I use against almost everything, Marauders as well. Yeah, there are many teams that these guys can counter on offense, especially with Beast. That offense up on Black Bolt, Crystal and Yo-Yo is just massive. Now we have the Mercenaries, and as you guys can see, I changed my Mercenaries setup. Now we have Shuri. And we have Merc Riot Guard, but Merc Riot Guard is actually in the middle, he's not here. So it's Shuri, Taskmaster, Merc Riot Guard, Merc Lieutenant, and Killmonger. That's the best positioning of this team. It's just quite amazing, and sometimes Black Order loses against this team because of all the deflects that Merc Riot Guard is giving to the Taskmaster and also to Merc Lieutenant. And Merc Lieutenant is very squishy, so he definitely needs those deflects. And of course, I've been using this on Alliance Wars defense, and this team is quite powerful, always consumes a few meta teams from the enemy alliance. Then we have the Trashtron. Right now I'm not using this team, I'm using this character, Yondu, with the Sinister Six on defense, and I'm using Ultron with Defenders on offense against the Marauders. Talking about Defenders, here we have them. We remove Luke Cage and we put Ultron here. If you decide to take this team to the next level, you need to apply the T4 on Jessica Jones, and that will allow you to very easily counter Strife. And as soon as Strife is dead, you can pretty much focus on the damage dealers of the Marauders, and they will be done. Once again, remove Luke Cage, put Ultron here for Marauders counter. Then we have Asgardians. We already explained why this is the best positioning on other video, and of course this is for Alliance Wars defense. Then we have the Brotherhood 1.5, and some people don't understand this team, like Sabretooth was always part of this team, and you have Pyro and Sabretooth applying tons of bleeds to the enemies, then Toad extends those bleeds, and it just makes them to bleed until they are dead. And it's going to be even better if you have the T-Force on Sabretooth's ultimate and Pyro special. So it's something you have to consider, and it will make a huge difference if you do that. Alliance Wars offense, of course. Then we have the Symbiotes for Alliance Wars offense, but I've seen a few people using this team on Alliance Wars defense, so it's not all bad. We have Drax to make sure that we have time for Venom to get his defense up. Then we have Symbiote Spiderman here just to make sure if there is any chain attack, there is a chance he can dodge and stop the chain attack. And then we have Green Goblin to remove as many buffs as possible from the enemies based on the symbiotes getting speed up from Carnage. And once again, Alliance Wars offense, especially against Asgardians or Red Skull, but some people are using this team on Alliance Wars defense because all their characters are tier 14, and many times they resist effects, and because of that they are able to get some wins. And finally we have the last team, the Villain Mutants or the Marauders. We have Strife, Blob, Mr. Sinister and Emma Frost. This is my favorite version of the team, and it makes Strife way harder to deal with. And just based on this team I've been able to get MVP for quite a few wars. So in the last two weeks of wars, I got MVP 4 times just based on this team. So if you guys still have doubts that this team is good, no, this team is incredible, and my Blob is almost at 7 yellow stars, and my Mr. Sinister also at 7 yellow stars. A few shards left for the 7 yellow, and that's gonna make a huge difference, and I feel bad for the people who have to face this team. So yeah guys, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed a faster version than the last one, and next time we'll have to explain even less things, since most of the things have been laid out in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Like ISO 8 coming next patch is going to be amazing. We'll have so much to talk about when it drops. If you find this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook, Discord and so on. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.